So it's 2026, and machine learning models are pretty much running the show, right? They're making huge decisions in banking, in medicine, everywhere. But the old way we measured them, just looking at simple accuracy, well, that's not just outdated anymore, it's actually becoming dangerous. So today, let's dive into the metrics that really matter now.
Okay, so check this out. This is a classic trap we see all the time. A model is bragging about 99.5% accuracy, and that sounds amazing, right? But behind the curtain, that same model is failing hard. How is that even possible? Well, think about it. If you're looking for credit card fraud and 99.5% of all transactions are totally fine, a model that just screams safe every single time is 99.5% accurate, and it's also completely worthless.
And that right there, that's what we're calling the imbalanced data crisis, and it is at the absolute heart of modern AI. You know, in almost any situation that really matters, the thing you're searching for, the fraud, the rare disease, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. This imbalance makes accuracy a totally misleading, even dangerous metric. And it's exactly why we need a much smarter tool.
All right, so first up, let's tackle classification. We've got to move past this simple right or wrong way of thinking and start to really dig in and diagnose what our model is actually doing, especially when that data is all kinds of skewed.
The first tool you absolutely need to know is the confusion matrix. It's our diagnostic tool. It doesn't just give us a pass-fail grade, it tells us how the model was right or wrong. Did we correctly spot a fraud case? Boom, that's a true positive. Did we correctly ignore a safe one? True negative. But what if we flagged a good transaction as fraud? That's a false positive. And the scariest one, what if we missed a case of fraud entirely? That's a false negative. Getting these 4 boxes is step 1 to any real evaluation.
And this is where things get really interesting, because the confusion matrix reveals this critical trade-off. On one side, you've got precision. It asks, of all the times we cried wolf, how often was there actually a wolf? This is key for something like a spam filter, right? A false positive there means your boss's important email ends up in the junk folder. On the other side, you have recall. It asks, of all the wolves that were out there, how many did we actually catch? This is life or death for medical screening. A false negative, missing a real case, is a disaster. And here's the kicker. You can't have perfect both. You have to decide which error costs you more.
Now, for years, everyone just reached for the F1 score to try and balance precision and recall. It seemed like a good idea, but, and this is a huge but, it has a massive blind spot. The F1 score completely ignores true negatives, all the times the model correctly said, nothing to see here. In so many cases, knowing that is just as important, which can make the F1 score pretty misleading.
And that's why we need to talk about what's really become the gold standard in 2026, the Matthews Correlation Coefficient, or MCC. This quote nails it. It's more informative because it's the only popular metric that actually looks at all 4 parts of that confusion matrix and gives them all the weight they deserve.
So why is MCC so darn good? Well, it totally reframes the problem. It's not just counting mistakes, it's calculating the actual correlation between what your model predicted and what really happened. And the scale is just beautiful. +1 means you have a perfect psychic model. -1 means your model is a perfect anti-psychic. It gets everything wrong. And 0? That means your model is no better than flipping a coin. It gives you such an honest look at your model's performance, especially when your data is imbalanced.
But, you know, a simple yes or no from a model, that's rarely enough, right? If a model's helping a doctor or a loan officer, they need to know, how sure are you? What's your confidence level here?
And that's exactly where log loss steps in. It's not looking at the final answer. It's looking at the probability the model gave. And I love this, because it absolutely punishes overconfidence. A model that says it's 99% sure but is wrong gets slammed with a massive penalty. This forces our models to be honest and tell us what they really know. Okay, let's switch gears. We've talked classification, now let's dive into regression. Here, we're not predicting categories, we're predicting actual numbers. And just like before, the big shift is moving away from just caring about the average to really understanding risk and planning for the worst-case scenarios.
The 2 big players here have always been RMSE and MAE. The real difference is all about punishment. Root mean squared error, or RMSE, squares the errors, meaning one huge mistake gets penalized like crazy. That's what you want for safety-critical systems, where a single big miss is a catastrophe. Mean absolute error, MAE, is more forgiving. It doesn't freak out about outliers, which makes it much better for noisy stuff like economic forecasting.
So you've probably heard of R-squared, right? The classic goodness of fit metric. But it's got a dirty little secret.
It always goes up when you add more features, even if those features are total junk. That's why we now use adjusted R-squared. It's smarter. It actually punishes your model for adding complexity that doesn't help, which is our best defense against bloated, overfitted models.
But here's the real 2026 question. What if you don't care about the average at all? What if your job is to plan for the extremes? This is where Pinball Loss is an absolute game changer. It's the math that powers something called quantile regression, which lets us predict any percentile we want, not just the middle, but the 10th percentile, or for risk management, the 90th percentile.
And this example just nails it. Look, for a network company, predicting the median latency, the 50th percentile, is about 10 milliseconds. That tells you what a typical user sees. Fine. But to manage their service level agreements, their SLAs, and to plan for capacity, they need to know about the worst case. They need to predict that 99th percentile, that 500 millisecond lag. Pinball Loss is what lets them do that.
All right, so the theory is cool and all, but how do we actually use this stuff without a massive headache? Let's look at how we can implement these metrics with the latest tools and really make them fly. You're gonna love this. With the new Scikit-Learn 1.8, this is way easier than you think. First, you just import the metrics like you always have. But here's where the magic is. Scikit-Learn now supports something called the Array API. This is huge. It means Scikit-Learn can now talk directly to GPU libraries like PyTorch or CuPy. You can do all your calculations right on the GPU, which gives you an insane speed boost on big datasets. And hey, even if you don't have a GPU, you can still speed things up by setting the joblib backend to threading to use all your CPU cores. It makes a real difference.
Okay, last thing, and this is maybe the most important part. Your model's been built, you've used all the right metrics to test it, and you got a great score. But you are not done, not even close.
Because out in the real world, you're going to face something called model drift. The world is not static, and your model's performance will decay over time. It happens in two ways. You have data drift, which is when the data you're feeding the model changes. Think about how people's spending habits totally changed after the pandemic. Then there's concept drift, which is even sneakier. That's when the rules of the game themselves change. Fraudsters are always finding new ways to cheat the system. What looked safe yesterday is a massive red flag today.
So look, if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. A high score on a static test set, that's vanity. It feels good, but it doesn't mean much. True success, real sanity, is having a model that is stable and reliable out in the real, messy world. So it's time to stop chasing accuracy. Start using metrics like MCC and Pinball Loss, and build models that don't just work on paper, but work in reality.